After explanation video number 1, let's move quickly to explanation video number 2. We have seen that the conspirators have entered Brutus's home and they are now going to be in conversation with Brutus. And who are all the people who have entered? Cassius, Casca, Decius Brutus, Cinna, Metellus Cimber, and Trebonius. Okay, all these guys have entered Brutus's house in order to meet him. Okay. Cassius says, I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you? So he says, I think we are disturbing your sleep. Good morning, Brutus. Are we troubling you? Brutus says, I have been up this hour awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you? I have been away. Do I know all these men who have come along with you? So he's also not able to recognize them because, as Lucius said, they have kind of put their hats below and they have hid their faces. Cassius says, yes, every man of them, and no man here but honors you. So he says, you know everyone and all of them respect you, and everyone doth wish, everyone does wish that you had but opinion of yourself, that you had that opinion about yourself, good opinion about yourself, wherein you respect yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius. So he's kind of repeating what was there in that anonymous letter. So he says, this is Trebonius. Brutus says, oh, he is welcome here. This is Julius Brutus. He's also welcome. This Casca, Cinna, and Metellus Cimber. They're all welcome that watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night. So he says, they're all welcome here, that what worries, watchful cares means what worries have kept you awake tonight. That's what Brutus wants to know, that why are you all awake at this unearthly hour, interposed between your eyes and night. Eyes and night, because eyes are supposed to be closed during night time. So what is it that is keeping your eyes open, right? It's a kind of personification of worries. That is, worry is keeping you awake, as a result of which there is this gap between the eyes and the night, that even at night your eyes are open and not closed. So Cassius says, can I have a word with you, right? So so they kind of whisper while the others talk. So Decius Brutus says, here lies the east, doth not the day break here? So he says, here is the eastern side, won't the day break from here? And Casca says, no. He may not have attended the geography classes. Geography की classes में absent रहा होगा, इसलिए उसको नहीं मालूम है. Cinna says, oh pardon sir, it does, and yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day. So he says, Cinna says, excuse me sir, those grey lines that laze the clouds, okay, fret the clouds means laze, those grey lines which are around the clouds are messengers of the coming of dawn. That is, daybreak is very close and it will be from that direction. Casca says, you shall confess that you are both deceived. He says, you will soon admit that you are both mistaken. Okay, and he points his sword. He says, here as I point this sword, the sun rises towards the south, since it's already still winter. Okay, since it is still winter, that is the youthful season of the year. So he's trying to say that it will actually rise from this direction and not from there, right? So he says, about 2 months from now, the dawn will break further towards the north. The east is where the capital stands. Okay, so he says some 2 months hence, up higher towards the north. So they are kind of having an argument about where the sun will rise from. Not very significant. Brutus says, give me your hands all over one by one. So now Brutus comes back after talking to Cassius one by one. So Cassius says, let us swear to our resolve that whatever we have promised ourselves, let's decide. Brutus says, no, let us not take an oath. No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the times abuse, if these be motives weak, break off betimes. So he says, no, not an oath. If the unhappy faces of men, the suffering of our own souls, the abuse of our time are not enough to motivate us. Now look at the different things he's citing. He's saying that if the men who are unhappy, or our souls which are suffering, or the abuse of our time, if these are not good enough reasons, right, for us to be motivated, if there are not enough good reasons to motivate us, then let us break off at once. At once means betimes means at once. Betimes means let's break off at once. Okay, then there is really no need to kind of continue, because there is really, he's saying that oath lene ki zarurat nahi hai, that I so and so promise to be part of this conspiracy to assassinate Julius Caesar on the 15th of March. No, he says that we don't really need to do this kind of thing. So B times means at once. And every man hence to his idle bed, and every man can go and sleep on his comfortable bed, basically can rest. In that case, let us allow. So he says, let us allow the high-sighted tyranny. So he's referring to him as a tyrant. So let us allow the ambitious tyrant rule to continue. Okay, the high-sighted means ambitious. High-sighted means ambitious, high-sighted, ambitious, high. Okay, tyranny to range on till each man drop by lottery. So he says, till such man that he kills each one of us by lottery, and he conveys by chance that, it could be anybody's chance. Any one of us could be killed on any particular day. So that's what he's trying to convey. So you realize the kind of brainwashing and the kind of belief they have, that, they are all at risk in the rule of Julius Caesar. Okay, till each man drop by lottery. Lottery indicates by chance. But if these, as I'm sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valor. So he says, however, if these reasons and motives are strong enough, and I'm sure they are, to provoke, to motivate us, to ignite cowards to act, that even if there is a coward in our group, even that coward is able to act because he's so motivated by this, then what else do we need to spur us on? Basically saying that then we do not really need any kind of oath in order to inspire and motivate us to do the thing, to steal with valor the melting spirits of women, to fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valor. Okay, so that's what, and he's referring to the failing spirits, the melting spirits of women, then countrymen. So he's saying the spirits of women, then the countrymen. What do we need to spur us on, to kind of, inspire us, to motivate us than our own cause, to prick us to redress. To prick means to spur to redress. So he says we do not really need any other reason apart from what we already have. We don't really need to take any kind of oath. So he says, what bond do we need? What other bond than secret Romans that we have spoken the word and will not falter? What other oath than honesty to honesty engage? So he says, what bond do we need apart from the bond that secret Romans who have given their word to act and will not back down, deceive? Falter means to deceive, and will not deceive, right? So once they have given a word, the Romans have given a word, they're expected to stick to that word and not go back on their word. And what other oath than honesty to honesty engage? And what oath do we need other than what we have said to each other honestly, that either we will make this happen or we will die, that this shall be or we shall fall for it, or we shall all die trying to achieve this. So, if we have given our word as Romans do, there is really no reason for us to go back on it. That's what he believes. So he's believing in that thing of the word, and there is really no need to take another oath. Swear priests and cowards and men catulous, old feeble carrions and such suffering souls that welcome wrong. So he says, let priests and cowards, okay, and men who are cautious and crafty, means cautelous means, and men who are extremely cautious, think twice before taking any decision. Old feeble carrions, basically old and feeble people. Carrions means, carrions is like, someone who is almost like a skeleton on the deathbed kind of a thing, and such suffering souls, and people who like to suffer and welcome wrongs. If people like that, unto bad causes swear such creatures as men doubt. So he says they can swear to bad causes. They can actually say that, okay, these are bad causes. Oaths are only necessary, he's saying, the oaths are only necessary for men who you would not trust, but do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, right? So oaths are necessary with people who you do not trust, otherwise it's not necessary at all. Okay, so doubt who are engaged in causes who are bad. Okay, the even virtue of our enterprise. So he says that do not stain our justified efforts or the indomitable, the insuppressive, the indomitable, which cannot be kind of controlled or put down. So not the insuppressive metal of our spirit. So he says, do not stain our justified efforts or the insuppressive core of our spirits, the metal of our spirits, the metal of our, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears and nobly bears is guilty of a several bastardy. So he says that do not stain our justified efforts, okay, of our spirits by thinking either our cause or performance needs an oath. So he is kind of arguing against taking an oath of all the conspirators. So he says that when every drop of blood in every noble Roman would be nothing more than a bastard's blood if he broke the smallest part of a promise he made. So he's using strong words, saying that every Roman who has promised to do something and does not do it, goes back on it, then he's kind of guilty. He's having, that means that he's having a bastard's blood. So that's what it will actually come to, the smallest particle of any promise that had passed from him. So he says it would actually come down to that. So he's very clear that he does not want to take any kind of oath, but go by the promises that every Roman who is part of this conspiracy, from Decius Brutus to Cassius to Cinna to Casca, everyone, they stick to the word they have given. We will pause explanation video number 2 out here. Okay, I'll meet you next in explanation video number 3. तब तक मजे करते रहो, गाते रहो, थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ते भी रहो. Bye bye.